and welcome back to the YouTube channel all about me, JK's Magician and Children's Entertainer, and welcome to the first mini-series of 2020. This mini-series is called All About Me, where I go through and answer loads of questions that people have asked me over the years, and I thought I'd answer those in some videos for my YouTube channel. So let's find out what today's topic and questions are. Now, this is a great question. I get asked this all the time. How did I get into performing? Well, my dad used to do a little bit of magic before I was born, and when I was young, he used to love doing children's parties. Didn't really do that many, didn't really run it as a business, has done it as favours for friends and everything. And then I fell in love with magic when I was younger. I got every magic set that was available, like the Marvin's Magic, the Stephen Mulhern magic set. I wish I was around when Paul Daniels released his magic sets, because I'd love to have those. But we do, in our house, we do collect magic sets, and luckily we have got a few of the original Paul Daniel magic sets in our house. Yeah, so I fell in love with magic, and I would do, I was one of these people that would read the magic set book cover to cover numerous times to learn all the tricks properly and perform those. And then when I started going to Potter Resort as a guest, I met up with a man named Darren. Now, Darren used to be a children's entertainer, and he showed me a few websites where you can buy more professional magic from designed for performers. And I went on there, I ordered a few things, and fell in love with the craft even more. And then at family parties or friends get together, they'd always say, "Jay, do you want to do a little bit of magic?" "Yeah, I'll do a little piece of magic," I said. And then every year I'd ask to do more and more magic, and that's kind of how I fell into performing. And then I always remember my first ever professional paid gig as a magician. That was a children's party. I believe that was out in Diss. I took the booking, didn't know what on earth I was doing, put together a show and put together a fun disco that way, and I'd done it and I really enjoyed it. And that's when I suddenly had that bright idea that maybe this is what I could do as a job. So that is really how I got into performing. I've been asked this a couple of times recently, am I a full-time entertainer? And the answer to that is yes. Not only am I a magician, but I've mentioned earlier on my channel as well, and on the Boxing Day vlog, that I'm an entertainer at Potter Resort. So I get to entertain loads of people throughout the year, with not only with magic, but doing the comedy in the shows at Potter's. I do quizzes, bingo, everything like that. So I do get to entertain all of the time, which I love. For me, it's brilliant. I love entertaining people. There's nothing better for me to see other people getting happy from what I do. Another great question: have I always wanted to be an entertainer? Maybe not always as a magician. I've always loved theatre and performing in theatre as well. I used to go to a musical theatre group called Norwich Young People's Theatre. Was there for quite a few number of years. We've done loads of productions, and that's where I kind of learned how to perform and learned a bit of the backstage stuff. And then I was lucky enough to have a week's work experience out at Norwich Theatre Royal with Cat when that came over here. And I was working backstage, and I fell in love with everything to do with backstage, all the technical side of things, and I think to perform, and that made me appreciate how hard tech people work for shows. Even though the audience never sees them, they work incredibly hard backstage. So it's always been a bit of a toss-up: do I want to go down the acting side, or do I want to go down the magic side, or the technical side? And actually it's a magic that's taken over now. I'm not saying I'll never ever act again. I'd love to do more shows like that, and maybe slip a little bit of magic into the shows if it allows. One thing in the future I'd love to get into is pantos. I'd love to play the comic and pantos, like the Buttons, the Muddles, the Silly Billies, like that. And in the far future, when I'm a little bit older, I'd like to try and break into Dame. I've always loved the idea of playing a Dame. I think it's a great character to play, and not the pinnacle of a panto, but one of the strongest characters in there. And what I like about the comic and the Dame is they're really the only two characters that are allowed to go off script and ad lib. And in my shows, I get to ad lib a lot because I run my own shows. I'm the director, the producer for my own shows, so it's great. There's no script in my shows. I know what I'm doing, but the words come out of my mouth naturally. And if something happens, I'll always ad lib and try and make a joke of it if I can. So yeah, I haven't always wanted to be a magician, but that's where my career so far has taken me. So that does now bring us to the end of this video. Now, I hope I've answered all the questions on this topic. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, press the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. 11 o'clock every Friday. Check out my Facebook page, JK's Magician and Children's Entertainer. Give the page a like, share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to check out Star on Instagram at Star the Magic Rabbit. As always, all the links will be down in the description. We'll see you next week. Ta-ra!